Okay, folks, welcome to the Home Trails podcast, and it is a special time of year, my favourite time of year. It's a time that I refer to as Spinemas, but basically it's winter spine season. So we're on the countdown now to January 2026, where we'll be seeing everybody toeing the lines of various races. We've got 7 races now, so Sprint South, Sprint North, Challenger South, Challenger North, full winter spine, MRT South, MRT North. So that's 7 races to be dot watching, which is kind of mind blowing. So what we're going to be doing between now and January the 10th weekend, we are going to be interviewing people that are doing some of the races, people connected with the media team, some people connected with the race organisation, and we're going to just basically get you all the interviews and try and build the hype over the next month, maybe 2 months. As we go into January, we'll probably have some interviews to do after the race as well. So if you came here for spine content, you've got it. If you didn't come here for spine content, then unfortunately this is what it's going to be. There will be the few odds podcast interviews with people not related to the spine race, but I will endeavour to sort of tell you at the start of the episode that this isn't a spine race connected podcast. They'll be few and far between, hopefully. No offense to the people that I'll be interviewing, but it is officially Spinemas. So looking forward to seeing what comes out of this year. It's going to be a great race, as always. So dive into the conversations now. I'm going to hit record. Right, we are recording. So welcome back to Jon Shield.
How are you doing, Sam? You
I'm
good?
good, mate. Yeah, I'm good. How are you? You're looking very toasty in your for the listeners only. You've got a very what looks like a very warm, woolly jacket thing.
Yeah,
What and a
plug
hat.
for Montaigne, eh?
I say you gotta look after the sponsors, haven't you?
Yeah, that's it. It's good kit, it's warm kit. So yeah, not long been in. Just spoke with a new client before. So yeah, been running around. Had a bit of an easy run earlier. Full tapering now, really. So it's
Mm.
trying to freshen up and feel good, which you never really do when you start to taper. I like to train, and training is as much of it for me as
I
the
know.
actual racing side of things. So I find probably the tapering side of things hard,
Hard.
really, because I like my food. Food likes me. And
Same
I
in.
have to be a little bit careful because otherwise get slightly heftier Jon Shield racing and those extra couple of kilos running up the hills and stuff.
Yeah, it
Wait,
all
what,
matters.
8 hours for a race?
It's I mean the spine probably should be. Yeah, I think Winter Downs has probably got the better idea that the Winter 200 thing that they do it like the week before Christmas, don't they? So you can yeah, you can train really hard for it and then do that race and then like chill out over the festive season and not feel guilty. Whereas with the spine, you like as much as you want to relax over the holidays, you're still conscious, aren't you, the fact that you can't relax too much because yeah, like you say, an extra couple of pounds here and there. I know we're all about body positivity here, but that extra couple of pounds really does make a difference going up a hill, doesn't it?
You know what? I'm like that 365 days a year. Like I just like my food. I'm healthy with what I do 99% of the time and dedicated with the training. Like it's year round for me. I don't care about Christmas, New Year. I don't go mad. Yeah, I'll have a roast dinner and I might have like this time for me, I've had a cheesecake. That's it, and I wolfed one of them. Apart from that, I've been doing big mileage, so it will burn off. And apart from that, I'm pretty good. Apart from a bit of a sugar-free monster addiction, which is getting out of hand. I blame night shifts on that, like past
Yeah.
night shifts and stuff, which I've never really got out of. And be, at the time hospital based, it was like relying on caffeine.
Mm.
And yeah, I'm going to try and cut that out a little bit over the next week so
New
that
Year's resolution.
it's more beneficial come race day that, when I need a bit of a caffeine kick, I'm not just like
Yeah.
sh shoveling it down.
I'm not. I'm really. I kind of. we're of we're of that generation. I'm talking about me now. I turned 46. I was trying to remember how old I was. Turned 46, and yeah, the whole energy drink kind of thing kind of not passed me by a little bit. It was a Red Bull, but it was Red Bull and vodka back in the late 90s, early 2000s for me.
Yeah,
But I never really got hooked on any of the modern, newer energy drinks. But having worked with a few young lads and they're like tempting me into trying them, I must admit that the white monster, the sugar-free monster, is just hits sometimes.
yeah. It's weird because like I never have sugar, like
Yeah.
really, apart from sports nutrition. And I don't
Mm.
I don't take lots of sports nutrition on, even in training. Like I will condition my gut a little bit before a race, but in general, I don't I don't take it on. Yeah, these sugar-free monsters I've been yeah using, but it's more out of either boredom or filling the gap so I don't eat. And it's that kind of vicious cycle, really. Um, but it's like back in the day, it was Red Bull, wasn't it? In the era when I did drink a little bit, um, it was Red Bull and
Vodka.
yeah, or your snake bite and black, wasn't it?
Ooh, snake bite and black. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long time ago. I've not had alcohol in
The
any.
bad old days. The bad old days.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of
Well,
realized I wanted to see past my 20s and into my 30s and all that side of things. But it's kind of a common theme, isn't it, with ultra running, that people generally have had addictions, like you say,
issues. Yeah.
ways. And like I've got this addictive personality. It's like if I wasn't when I was younger, it was either like sport and then it moved, like you had that kind of bit of a drinking era where I had a couple of years. Then it was kind of like even working, addicted to working, and then it's addicted to the gym. Then now this last years, it's been addicted to the running and stuff. It's like there's always
There's a pattern there,
a
isn't there?
phase, like when I can't run at a certain age or whatever, there'll be something else. And there's that. I think that's a type of person, and I think I've seen a lot of that in the ultra running community, and it's an interesting thing to see, and you have in common with people when you get to know them, and I see that in you, what I've got in myself there, this addiction, and there's quite a few people like that. Sam Skinner
Yeah.
is another one.
Mm.
Chatting to him, and it's just there's always that kind of thing. But yeah, it's all
It's a healthier addiction, isn't it?
yeah,
Ultra
in the right way.
healthier, healthier.
I I could say probably that the running is potentially unhealthy at times. Don't Especially since I left the medical work and I've gone full time with the coaching and now the headwear and stuff like that. Like I find myself eat, sleep, you know, training, that. I go to sleep and I wake up thinking of Damien Hall. Uh,
As we all do.
yeah, no, but yeah, no, it is at that point that I can recognize that some of it is actually unhealthy at the time, that I don't let myself have. Really, I think I'm better than I was, but it's that addictive side of things that when you especially I think if you you enjoy it and then you get a case of like some success,
Mm.
you always want that little bit more, and you want to push the boundaries and see what you can do and tinker with things. And let's face it, to get to like an upper level, so many people work so damn hard now and put the time in. You've got to put that time in, and um it's not a great professional sport where you get a lot of money or income, and that side of things. So it's a lot of dedication for not much return or
Mm.
reward. It's you
For the
know,
love of the sport.
yeah, and that's it. So you've got to really love it to go and put in, you know, 20 hours a week of training and fit
Mm.
that round work,
Work.
family,
Mm.
sleep and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, it's I'm not sure it's always so healthy, and there's definitely a fine line between that. I
Mm.
think I've definitely tip over to the unhealthy side of things with it at times, but hey ho, is what it is.
Could be worse. Could always be worse.
Yeah,
Could be a
it
worse addiction.
could be different things and worse to it, but yeah, there's
Mm.
I think there'll be a point where you're actually like, I probably need to settle back, and probably it won't change much in terms of the performance. It may be that 1%, but then maybe you get better recovery. Maybe you're happier, less stressed, and by doing that, a little bit less, um, because you always think that you're never doing enough. When in reality, you probably are doing enough, but you're not doing enough of the other stuff, like having your sleep recovery,
Mm.
and I've always said this, sleep's my downfall with the endless amount of dogs I've got and constantly letting them in and out and chasing them around. I really feel guilty if I'm not constantly looking after them or having them out. It's that fear of not doing enough, or that if I hear some of them in their kennels, I get up for them and stuff. So it's like, I go to bed at like 3 a.m. or something. I'm up at 7. And then, now, especially with the weather at the moment, some are in the house, but then some have got thermal kennels. But I still worry that, are they going to be warm enough? And
Mm.
so I want to get them up, give them extra food, this, that, the other. It's just that mindset. And yeah, probably constantly worrying in a way.
So,
But
so you've gone from a job where you were doing night shifts and that was interfering with your life cycle, and now you've just swapped that for looking after dogs in the middle of the night then.
yeah, I still do. I still stay up late, and that's kind of the problem. Like I used to do the night shifts, but I still now. Um, up till like half 2, 3 a.m. regularly. And I find I can work quite well in an evening anyway. It's just probably out of habit. So I'm definitely more of a night owl, which comes in quite handy because I have been in like the pure gym at 1 a.m. in the morning and stuff recently. So, 24-hour gyms are useful at
Yeah.
times. But yeah, it's fitting stuff in, and that's kind of what I do, is just try and fit stuff in around what I've got on. And if I'm, speaking to some of my clients that are all over the world at the moment, I'm coaching, which is it's great because it's interesting. But then there's different time zones, so if you want to chat to people, then
Mm.
that can be, certain time in an evening or morning, and you just kind of then build in your days around that. And if I'm talking to my headwear manufacturers now or stuff like that, that tends to be at night. Otherwise, it interferes sort of in my afternoon when usually I'd be doing stuff. So I tend to make it as a nighttime thing. And yeah, it just kind of has got that routine and stuff. And maybe, yeah, maybe I could change it, but it's just the way I work and operate, I guess. And yeah, it probably doesn't fit in with other people's schedules the same, but then it's working on my schedule, and I guess what works for you,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Everyone has their way of doing stuff. If I was in a job where I was at work for 8 in the morning, that's what I do. I used to PT people, 5:45 in the morning. So I used to sometimes train before that, or train after it, and that was what you do, isn't it? You fit it around life, and that's what I guess is key. You've got to fit things around what works for you.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's where the white monsters come in. So I think we've mentioned them enough now that we hopefully we'll get them as a sponsor for the podcast.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good for me. That. Gotta give it up.
I'll send you some. I'll send you
Search them
some.
on
Send you some.
every video now, and then I'll be there like Ronaldo knocking out the Coca-Cola. No, I'm not doing it anymore.
Awesome. So how has the transition been then from, doing your paramedic stuff to now, doing full-time coaching and starting the business with the clothing stuff, your headwear and everything?
To be honest, I love it. It was like a decision. It was kind of taken out of my hands because the contract ended, and I was hoping that I would, go on and make it on my own choice and finish it at the start of January. So yeah, it forced my hand a little bit. So it was quite stressful because all of a sudden you lose a good income doing it because I was working for myself, self-employed. Um, but I was at that stage with the coaching where I couldn't take any more people on, and it was a struggle to manage both. Um, so it made me take that plunge.
Mm,
Otherwise, you're not going to grow it. You're just kind of constantly at that level. So by having that happen, it forced my hand. I was like, right, oh, I better grow it, and it grew really well without too much effort. It was just
mm,
by referral, really. I guess just because I kind of always want to get back to people when I do stuff. It's just the way it's quite a personal thing that I often a lot of my clients I just end up seeing as friends because I'm talking about running and strength training
mm,
and all that sort of stuff that I love talking about anyway,
mm,
except I'm now getting paid to do it. And, I go out and run with clients and have a good laugh with them. And, I'm texting at all hours of the night. And it's generally, I'm like, actually, I don't have any friends. It's all my clients. Maybe they're my friends. But, so it's a bit of a blur. And, I know some people with the coaching side of things are very strict on their communication times and so on. And maybe I have to be more like that in the future. But
mm,
um, I don't like not getting back to people on stuff. And, if someone asks me a question and I look at it, I'm like, well, I answer it back
mm,
generally. And like say people different time zones. So um, I just get back to them as and when stuff comes through. Obviously, if it's sometimes you're on a run or a race and your communication goes off for a while, but
mm,
apart from that, it's I think that's probably why it's done quite well is because I generally get back to people and
mm,
probably because you love it, it's not really like work, is it?
mm,
Um, it's your passion, and yeah, I think when you have that passion, it shines through rather than just being a job. And I'm sure it's the same with you and the podcasting side of things. You wouldn't do it if it was a chore. You wouldn't do
mm.
it, whereas you obviously love it to do it. And
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I wish it would pay for itself, but it doesn't.
yeah, yeah, it's really difficult that side of things because they're great, and it's great because you get lots of brilliant people on your podcast as well. Um, So yeah, it's just unfortunate that trail running or ultra running, although it's growing, the money
Mm,
is quite the same there, and it's
no. Well,
frustrating.
well, now I've got that contract with Monster. We'll be all right. So
Yeah, we'll be it's like the Red Bull athletes, isn't it? Yeah, we
yeah,
could we could be that team that does
they need
the opposite.
they need to do that. They need to do that, don't they? Yeah, because Red Bull were onto a thing there, weren't they? Like in the early days, sponsoring um trail runners and stuff in the early days before it was a thing.
Ryan
For
Sands was
yeah,
one of the first ones when multi-day
yeah,
back in the day. It was kind of when it was like it wasn't really a thing,
mm.
but he cottoned on with
Dylan
Red
Dylan
Bull.
Bowman. He was
Yeah.
another one, wasn't he? Dylan. Yeah, it's a few, weren't there?
But
Back
they're
in the
still
day.
with them to this day now. And fair play. Red Bull have stuck by them, and yeah, there's other great athletes. Obviously, Tom Evans
Well,
there
yeah.
and now and stuff. But they've kept on with all those people, and you see them doing insane stuff, don't you, with cars,
Yeah.
bikes, and all sorts.
Yeah.
They grab people's
Crazy.
attention, and it's a great brand. It's a great brand. So, and if it highlights stuff, ultra running and trail running and stuff, you need more brands doing that, I think, which, um, there's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of social media now. I find it quite difficult because there's a lot of stupid stuff out there, as I call it, and influencer stuff, which I'm, I'm not a massive fan of all that stuff, and I have to try a little bit with social media, but I don't post enough. It's usually about races or
Mm.
maybe about kit or something like that. But yeah, when you see some stuff out all the time, I have to bite my tongue and think, no, 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 no. But then you see some like I don't know, I've seen all sorts of stuff now. Like there's more. See, I've got a bit of a military background and stuff, but then you're seeing all this stuff now. So you have your Goggins stuff that's out there all the time. You have some other military stuff out there, and that seems to be a bit more of a thing
Mm,
now. And there's these phases of things, and like I say, it's push, 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 and then there's this other side of things where everything's a bit softer and nicey
mm.
nice, and there's different sides of social media, and I kind of don't know where I like just very much simply. This is trail running. I like to see the informative side of things and listen to people who are doing well at the stuff, but also people who have interesting stories that have come from really different or hard backgrounds that have struggled,
Mm,
that have really shown that mindset, which I love, that difficulty, that
mm,
hard work. It's like they put a lot of effort in, and you know, you don't need talent to put effort in, do you? Like effort is just how hard you try.
mm.
Those people really kind of inspire me, and I see stuff on social media like that, and I really like that stuff. Like where people like they've just had a really bad or hard life, and they've made the best of it, and they're so positive. That's what I want to see on social media, and I see other stuff, and I'm like, oh, this world's gone mad. And
So I suppose you just got to be true to yourself, and if you like the thing that you like, just stick to doing what you like, because be other people that like the same thing. And I
yeah,
think the sport's so big now and getting bigger and bigger that you'll have your like running influencers that do the stupid videos and stuff, and then you'll have the guys like you that are business owners and coaches and pushing yourself at races, and people are interested in that as well. Probably, you just got to kind of stick to what you know and what you enjoy, and other people will like it as well, won't they?
yeah, it's that. I say variety because, like I say, it's great. You want that whole inclusivity with trail
Yeah.
running. It should be for everyone, and absolutely. And there's the whole thing about, like she ultras now and stuff, and
Mm,
um, females being on a par with males in ultra running, and that's been proven that the Jasmine Parises of the world, you Courtney Dauns,
mm,
you Katie Sheeds, they're right there with the guys and beating them and so
yeah.
on. So there's definitely not that disparity that there
Mm,
is in shorter distances, but that's your equality, isn't it? You think there you go, ultra running, you're on an even keel there and stuff. So
yeah.
it's good to see that. So the inclusion still is it's not a 50-50 in a lot of races, but some are certainly getting.
Getting better. Mm,
Um, you've got your She Ultra races and so on, and inspiring people. I've got a lady who's racing in the Challenger South actually, and she's like unbelievable what she does. She works like and she's got this charity, and it's Inspired Minds. Uh,
mm,
it's the Inspired Minds Foundation, and she basically is supporting um, women and children, pulling them out of war zones, and I've been
I think I
supporting
might have seen that.
that. Yeah, Sarah Porter, and that
Yes.
kind of thing is really like inspiring because she's not a runner by background, but she's an endurance swimmer. But she's now come into the running side of thing, and she's doing the spine, and it's all this for charity. And
Mm,
she's got Leadville as well after this. But so the
wow.
challenge itself is a huge thing, and she's got the opportunity to make a lot of money for this charity by
Mm,
doing these events. So it's great when you see and hear these stories
mm,
about how different people that maybe aren't going to be in the top of the field that are doing the spine, because this is everyone's, it's everyone's World Cup, isn't it? A bit like UTMB, like people go there because it's their epitome of like racing, like a bucket
yeah.
list thing, and the spine is that for a lot of people, and everyone has their different bucket list, don't they, of races and so on. but you ask people, and those kind of ones are on those people's lists, like hard to do things. And
Mm.
yeah, you hear some incredible people when you start talking to people at Spine at registration, and people that you may only know from social media or you might not know, and
Mm.
you just start talking. And that's what I really like about these races, or the multi-day and stuff I've done, is you meet some really incredible people.
Everyone's got a story, haven't they?
Yeah,
Everyone's got a
yeah,
story. Mm. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Sarah Porter. Yeah, I do. I think she must have followed me, or I followed her recently. I think
yeah,
I remember reading about that. Yeah, so people doing good things, suffering for good reasons, aren't they? This coming
exactly.
weekend, amazing. So speaking of this weekend, then.
Yeah.
So you called me out earlier today uh,
Indeed.
for saying that I championed
I was listening, mate. I was
Damien Hall,
listening. Yeah.
and I was like, I don't remember saying that. But then I've literally just as I was waiting for you to come on, I've gone through the transcript of the podcast to see what I actually said, and I found it. So I'm going to read it to you. Where
Yeah,
are it? There's
let's go.
So this is me. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So thinking ahead then, once you've won Sprint North, what's the plan for the rest of the year? So I
Let's
did. So I
clarify
did
this.
say
This was to Damien Hall on Damien Hall's podcast. Very good podcast, by the way.
it.
But
Yeah, it was a yeah, yeah, yeah. So obviously I say that to every person I interview, don't I? So don't feel
we'll
bad.
sign off on that one.
I wasn't favouring him over. So how are you feeling about the race then? Do you feel because yeah, you're up against Damo. How are you feeling going into this race this weekend then? Obviously, you're doing Sprint North for people that don't know.
Yeah, ours is on the Tuesday, so it's quite good. I get to dot watch as well with everyone
Yeah.
else for a while. Um, yeah, I said last year was a bit of a mixed bag, really, because I say I was injured for such a long period of time that now actually I've probably had the best amount of consistent training I've had. Um,
What
Probably
did you do last year? I can't remember. So I've interviewed so many people and been at so many races. So what did you do last year at the Spine? Then what race was it?
pulled my calf at Challenger North.
Challenge North, that was it. Yeah, and I saw you. Did I see you at Alston?
Yeah, pulled out 60 odd
That was
miles
it.
in.
That was it.
And then yeah, that was ruptured, which I didn't realize because of the cold and the snow, knee deep snow.
You
So
feel it. Yeah.
I only noticed it when I started coming down and going over the stiles into the checkpoint, and it just ballooned up. But I know it was in the snow. I just remember falling deep, like really early on. Um, Probably, and Javik pulled me out of the snow. And yeah, then I had to get ready for the full Arctic spine.
Mm.
It's only a month later, so I did no training for that. It was just physio. So I literally turned up at the Arctic spine completely unfit, underprepared.
That off, so that you were got into that off the back of just the training that you'd done going into Challenger North, then that you couldn't really
So
use.
I hadn't trained for about 6 weeks.
Mm.
I was just like, I want to get on the start line for the Arctic, but I didn't know if I'd be able to. I didn't know how far I'd be able to get. I never Nordic skied in my life. And to be fair, by my own admission, I'd done zero thought into it. I was, if you speak to like Phil or team there, it's I was not my usual self on it. I mean, I'd had some issues like with home and personal stuff as well. So I went there and I was forgetting about my bloody stove and all sorts. I was by my own admission, like I was not at it at that race, but it was grit and determination that got me around it and finished third
Mm.
equal. Which I was proud of that because
Yeah.
I went. I could have done. The frustrating thing is I would love to go back because I know that
In full fitness.
even up there I was leading the full race until I got on a lake when I got blown. Literally, because I didn't have the ice spikes on, which are going to be mandatory kit now. They were in a drop bag, and I lost that on the um, this massive lake. I don't know how long it was, 6 miles or something. I
Why aren't spikes mandatory kit for that race? Well, why weren't they? That's random, isn't it?
Yeah, if you had Nordic skis, it's gone on the list now. But yeah, so they weren't on the mandatory if you had the Nordic skis, or you could have had snowshoes, but they weren't.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I got on this lake and I was just getting knocked all over, left, right, and center. It was catching the pull on the back, and I had no poles; they'd snapped. So yeah, it was a race of frustration really, and the calf, yeah, it held up. There's a couple of tweaks on it, but yeah, got round, took it easy. I partnered up with a guy who was from that area, and kept it honest. I'd caught him after the back of one of the checkpoints he'd gone out of. Um, but essentially, that first night, I had to bed down for 14 hours because I went the wrong side of this river, and the conditions were awful because the ice, the water had basically broken the ice, so it's flowing water, so it was really dangerous. Um, and yeah, he had to bed down because couldn't find a way across, and I ended up bedding down with someone else, putting our tents up. But the lad who'd gone the other side, who ended up winning it, who's doing the spine race this year, actually, I think. It was just an unassailable lead from that
Hmm.
early on. That was how far in was that? Before checkpoint one, but yeah, it would taken a while to get there. So it was a bit of a frustration on my point. But then I just, thought, right, well, let's enjoy this. And when I partnered up with the other lad, we had a great time, and we became good friends. And yeah, it was just really, really interesting. And an experience, but yeah, it wasn't me at that race. So I still feel like I've got some unfinished business with it, but um yeah, obviously there's only so many races you can do and stuff. But then yeah, after that I guess I got my fitness back after that. Once I'd had the rest and recovery, I sort of built up to Cape Wrath. I did a limitless trails race, smashed my course record on that, and that was probably me at my fittest, I think, for the year. And then I went to Cape Wrath about 3 weeks later. Didn't feel quite so fit, but still put a good run in. Ran in a strong field. Marcus won again. Um, and he was in great shape. And then there was another couple of good runners as well there. So it kept me honest. So I was pretty happy coming second at
Hmm.
Cape Wrath. And then after that, it was the summer spine. And for a long period of time, I felt that was on my best running. I felt so easy, felt so good. You know, that kind of those runs that don't happen very often where you just feel in your element. I felt so good. Even though I knew my feet hadn't recovered from Cape Wrath because they got an absolute beating there. Um, they were just fresh skin there, flaky skin still. So I knew they were going to go, but it was actually my knees that all of a sudden just went really sort of painful. Just coming into the was it Gary, that the where you get your bacon rolls and all that side of it there.
Lothersdale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about a mile out from there, left knee just pretty much like sharp pain, and you just didn't know when it was going to come on. And then that progressed. So I took a lot of time there at Loversdale, or the allotted time you could, the half hour, eating, yeah, everything and having some coffees, and then set off, and it was okay. Noticed them swelling, but the feet, and then I was still moving pretty well though, and up over Crossfell, but the weather really came in on Crossfell, so obviously really rugged terrain there, where I flew up that quite well, but it was at a detriment to my feet. And yeah, trying to run off the top of it, then my feet were just like, no, you can't. I couldn't even run the runnable bit off Crossfell where I should have been absolutely hurling down it in a way. And I felt brilliant. That was the annoying thing. I still felt, like mentally,
Mm.
everything was there. Um, so it was frustrating, but yeah, just had to chug away at it. And whether I should have or I shouldn't have continued with that, I was proud to finish it because, it took everything with a lot of pain relief and then the tiredness associated with taking like codeine and stuff like that,
Mhm.
I was, falling asleep constantly. Um, but just to get round was good, and it was actually enjoyable in a way that I got to speak to quite a few people along the way in the end and stuff, and um, yeah, that was quite nice from that point of view, seeing it from a different perspective. And yeah, sleeping in the public toilets and the church and bits and bobs like that, which wouldn't usually have happened. I got to experience a little bit more, I guess, and see a little bit more. Um, but yeah, and then that literally then screwed my knees for the rest of the year, really. I went to Kenya beyond the ultimate and did their for Rangers race, which is yeah, it was a great race. Came second. So a very good runner, to be fair. Was winning the first couple of days and just didn't have the tank because I hadn't been doing any running. I'd done a lot of heat training, but I just didn't have the fitness or the legs, I guess. And the bit of altitude really got me. But yeah, it was something I was satisfied with again. But again, it was that could have done more, could have done better if I was in kind of what I feel like now, because the knees were still a hindrance there, but they weren't because it was only a
Mm.
short, each day was relatively short. I knew the knees would only affect me if it was really steep downhills or if it was a prolonged period of time. Um, which then, yeah, I went to Ultra Gobi, which was, um, yeah, big race and true to form. I was with Javixa, and running pretty well, but I wasn't in great shape. Again, to be honest, like by my standards, I wasn't in good shape. Got to the top of a big climb, and it was the only big climb really, which was quite early on. And so I'm just watching one of my dogs who's being a bit of a pain at the moment. Yeah, the descent off this big climb was horrible, and uh, yeah, the knees just didn't like it. And I made a decision then, like literally, I knew I said to Vic, so he dropped me on towards the top of the climb, and I just said, mate, just go, just don't wait for me because he's that much of a nice guy. He would have waiting around. I was like, just go, um, and yeah, I just tootled on down, but stopped starting. Got to the next checkpoint then. Sanjay Sherpa, what a guy he is. He came into the checkpoint, obviously caught me up there, and then sort of ran with him for a little bit out of the checkpoint, but my knees just weren't happy. So called it a day quite easily without the same suffering as the spine. And I was good with that. I think I'd learned my lesson after the spine. Don't do anything more because you're going to put yourself out again. And I knew that obviously this and then Costa Rica are around the corner. And I wanted to make sure I could get fit for the Spine Sprint North. And
Mm.
to be fair, I had some good massage out there, a few days on the bounce, and then started doing kept doing some physio stuff that I was doing and rehab on myself. And it just seemed to quickly get better after that. And just I was just dedicated with the rehab and had to keep my runs quite flat for a while, not doing big sort of elevation. And yeah, I've just kind of babied it along and it's progressively improved. Not perfect, but it won't stop me. I did a recce of the spine sprint north the other week. Um, and it went well. And yeah, I think my mileage has been good now. I've had about 10 weeks of consistent training. I ran the coastal, what do they call it now? It's the Penlyn Winter Ultra, the coast to
Mm.
coast race by Hugh Williams.
Yeah.
And that was after about 3 weeks of consistent good mileage. And I won that. And it was a good time actually. Um, photographer Rich Gill had won it the
Mm.
year before, I think, or whatever, because they changed the route. I'd won it twice on the bounce, then Kim Collison won it. Then they changed it round the other way. So then Rich won it, and then yeah, won it against, and Rory Harris was running, and he pushed me really hard on the final 10K after I'd done a little bit of a wrong turn, but saw him sort of like bit between his teeth and like had to really hold on at the end of that. But it was a fairly similar time to what I'd done the other way around. It was a slightly different route, so you don't know. But I felt like I run it as well as those other days. So I felt like off 3 weeks, that was pretty good.
Mm.
I've been consistent then, added a bit more in. So yeah, I guess I'm coming to this as it stands in probably the best shape I've been in, I think, for a good period of time. So
Mm. So
yeah,
your recce run then, how did you run that? Was that literally just to go to just rec? I know you know the route anyway, so were you testing out gear or what were you going for it to see what time you could put down for potentially going
yeah,
for the podium?
yeah. I mean, sorry, dog jumping on the table. I went and actually one of my clients who's running the Challenger South, who is a good runner, Dougie. I think he came third in the summer Challenger South. So
Dougie, what's his last name? Dougie.
Finley and
Yes.
good runner. So he ran with me from the start, and then we met up with Howard for the latter part. Howard Dracup, who's running
Mm,
in the north as well. So he met us just before we got onto the Cheviots, and then we ran it together. So yeah, it was a choice of just selecting what shoe I wanted to use, which was it was interesting because it was really wet and horrible underfoot at that point on the route. Although the day was pretty nice until the final couple of hours, and then it was bloody awful. Um, it was good to know the route, especially the high route. So going up to
mm,
the Cheviot, like the full spine won't do, and the north won't do. Going up and out the out and back of the Cheviot, and then the high route before you drop down into Kirk, get home. So that was good to know. Good to see it. It was good to check and test which shoes because I'm not using the shoes I was going to use there that were good. They just didn't have enough underfoot for the runnable bits, I don't think, although they were great on the sloppy stuff, and they were
mm,
like they just probably weren't giving me enough cushioning for the slabs.
mm,
So yeah, it was a bit of a kit test, bit of a run out, bit of a see what time we can do. Um, I mean, moving time was only 8 hours 20 minutes, I think. Elapsed time was about 9 hours 20. Um, and yeah, that took into account waiting with Howard while he.
mm. So you weren't hanging about
No, when we
by
were
any means. Mm,
yeah, we run it pretty well. Couple of stops, like Howard going and changing his clothes in hut one, and then we stopped and had a chat with a couple of lads that were doing their recce because they were doing the Challenger North. So we had a walk with them probably for about 10 minutes. But yeah, it was quite a solid effort, and yeah, it was a good benchmark to sort of have an idea if conditions are right, what I think is possible.
mm,
So we'll see how close I think I can get, depending on the conditions, because that could change it by hours. But what I reckon is possible on that.
mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about? I know we've already spoke about Damo, but how are you feeling about the competition then? Who do you know from the race roster that's going to be there that you're going to be up against?
Yeah, I mean, Damo's the obvious one, and Howard as well. Howard Dracup, he's got a lot of experience. I don't know any others on there, but I don't want to be doing anyone an injustice because there's so many good runners that just
Mm,
pop up, or
mm,
I don't know every runner out there, but I'm sure there'll be some other good runners there as well. Obviously, Damien's Damien. He's had a brilliant sort of race. He's had lots of brilliant races recently with Lakeland and um, Northern Traverse. So he's actually in a really good
mm,
vein of form. So and he is just so well known with the spine. So for me, like it's a it's good. I've never raced Damo, so um, it's going to be great that it's great that he's in the race because it brings more interest to the race.
mm,
It'll let me see where I'm at in relation to him, and obviously I believe in myself and have sort of my ambitions and so on, and I guess he will believe in himself as well. Like it is, you've got to back yourself, haven't you?
mm.
So yeah, I think it'll be really interesting, but the conditions will play a massive part in that as well.
Mm.
I would love it to be fast. I want it to be fast, good conditions, but at the same time, I do love horrible conditions. So, but I then think Howard's got really long legs, and when we were going over the bogs, he found it easier going over the bogs, like just this massive stride. So I think he would, it was like the Challenger North last year. I remember just the front me, Javixa, and the other lad looking back, and we were like, everyone was right behind us because we were just ploughing a path, and then
Mm.
we're finding so much more easy people behind to just follow. So if that happens, it doesn't pay to be at the front then.
Mm.
So yeah, whereas if it at the moment, I don't know what the Cheviots are like at the moment. I know it's really cold up there, but I don't know if there's lots of snow, and I know what the temperature's going to be like and what it feels like. -17 up there, it's been feeling like, and -7 or something. So, that's some serious conditions to battle. Which, if if it's like that and hard underfoot, I mean, when Jack set his record,
Mm.
it was firm underfoot, and you could go over the
Mm.
box and avoid, the icy slabs. You could just run to the side of stuff, couldn't you?
Mm.
So that potentially makes it a fast race, depending on obviously other factors as well, wind and
Yeah.
whatever.
Don't
But
fancy a -17 headwind. Mm.
uh, yeah, yeah, it makes it interesting. But I think if
Character building.
if it's a lot of snow, it's going to bring everyone really close together,
Mm.
and then it's just going to be a war of attrition. And
Yeah.
I guess sometimes with that, you see people finishing together because you
Mm.
can't get away from people in that.
Yeah, he had to work together to get the
Whereas if you're running and it's quite hard, then it's up on your engine, isn't it? How well can you go? How well are you fueling? How well
Mm.
do you manage your conditions, your pace, all those sort of side of things? And yeah, I don't know what conditions Damien would prefer, but I think for me, a faster sort of conditions, that's what I hope for. That's what I'd like.
Mm.
But at the same time, I do like the other conditions. It's just I don't think they would do me the same favor
Mm.
in terms of how well my race would go. It would make it more difficult in a way, I think. But yeah, we'll see. It'll be good. It'll be interesting, exciting, and so all the other races though. There's lots of good battles that are going to be going on, aren't there?
Yeah, yeah, that's it. So it's going to be. I was saying to people that the lineup for the races this year, I feel is a bit more on the other races rather than the full race. Sort of, like with the South and everything, with Jack going up against like Mark Derbyshire, who is racing. I messaged him today, and he is actually racing. So I wasn't sure. He was kind of saying he wasn't sure whether he was going to race or not.
They're in my headwear, so he better be racing.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that battle with Jack and Mark and Dan Weller. That's
Yeah,
going to be interesting, and I think that's good because it brings, like you say, it brings attention to the other races. It's not just about the full winter race, and I hope that is kind of the way that it goes from now on, like year after year, is that the other races get a bit of get some light shone on them because they can kind of be in the shadow of the big race, can't they? When you've got big names doing the full race, it's
yeah. It's interesting because obviously Mark Derbyshire's like a 100 mile specialist, isn't
specialist.
he?
Yeah.
Records at
Mm.
TS and the Arc and all these different sort of iconic races, massive finish
Mm.
at UTMB.
Mm.
And, it's just that's his thing, isn't it?
Mm.
Whereas Jack's has been, it's different because Jack's got a lot of pace, hasn't he? Out and
Well,
out.
even the way he sort of described it, I thought was really interesting. So he said that you've got Mark, who's the 100-mile specialist, and then you've got, but he's not very experienced with the Pennine Way, and then you've got Jack, who is fully experienced with the Pennine Way, but probably may not be 100 miles specialist in to the same degree that Mark Derbyshire is. So you've got those two, not opposites, but those things combining is gonna make for an interesting race, isn't it?
Jack's nailed obviously the full spine, and he's got a lot of pace over shorter stuff too.
Mm,
Mark's no slouch over short stuff, but then 100 mile is definitely
yeah,
his
wheelhouse.
speciality,
Mm,
isn't it?
mm,
Uh, but then if there's snow, like the year before, Rupert and Mark just killed each other off, didn't they? And then the
mm.
guy who was just behind, well, just behind, he was quite a long way behind, but then he ended up winning, didn't he? Because they both sort of just were knackered from the snow.
Yeah, yeah.
So if it's similar to like that, Dan Weller's there. Dan's in great shape.
Mm,
Dan's running really well, and he's always solid. Dan just,
yeah.
he's always there or thereabouts, isn't he? In any
Mm,
race, he either
yeah.
wins or he's up there. Um, yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting from that point of view. Then the full spine, got Chris Cope uh,
Mm,
and James Nobles, who are my two picks for that race.
yes, yeah, yeah. James is mine. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
James
think.
is.
Uh, yeah, I know Chris from running with Chris and stuff.
Yeah,
He's
you ran with him, didn't you, on the summer race, didn't you?
yeah, and we become gave good friends from that and stuff. And yeah, he's got bags of raw pace.
Mm,
Um, he's probably the fastest guy in that field by a long way, I would
mm,
say, in terms of output. Like, so what he was doing on Dragon's Back before he got injured, if you remember that when James won that year,
mm,
he was tearing strips off people in those first few
mm.
days. And he's
So it's
got
going to be a good battle there, then, isn't there?
mindset, yeah. And then so you've got John Kelly returning. I don't think he'll match those lads, but you never know, do you? This is the spine. You don't know with
Yeah,
things. Anything can
that's
happen.
it.
Injuries, this
Anything can happen, and it normally does.
yeah, slip slide. But it could be that someone who's just a little bit further back profits on, you know, people going off too hard or
That's like the older Ian Keith way of racing, that he just let everybody fly off the front and destroy themselves, and then he just carried on at the same pace and just strolled straight through for the win.
and yeah, sometimes it works, doesn't it? So
Mm.
yeah, I'm sure there'll be lots of twists in the dot watching for people anyway over this coming period. But yeah, I'm going to be intrigued watching as well
Yeah,
before the start. And
yeah,
yeah,
it's going
as
to be good.
well.
I was saying to Jack that I'm looking forward to, because I'm in for Challenger South as well, so I'm looking forward to, hopefully, fingers crossed, getting to the end of that okay, and then being able to come home and relax and then dot watch everybody else for the rest of the week, because I'm not doing any media, so
Yeah.
I will have the week of like, just that's why I'm plowing through all the podcasts this week and last week, and so next week I can just sit back and enjoy the race with everybody else.
Have you got a goal in mind? What's your
No, just I don't know, you see, because the only time I've done that section is on the fall, and I was like 30 odd hours getting into there, because I just purposely walked through that first night to try and conserve energy. Wrongly now, looking back on it, I should have pushed on, because I could have pushed on, but for some reason I took it slow through that first night. So I don't know. I'm not less than 30 hours would be nice.
isn't it? You've got to go at a certain pace. It's like, yeah, it's all right being steady, but everyone gets tired at some point.
Mm.
So if you've not gone fast enough before you get tired,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm.
body says, actually, I need to sleep. I've been awake this long.
Mm.
Then you've
That's your opportunity. Yeah.
wasted
Mhm.
time and effort because you could
Mm.
have been a lot further along by the time you got tired.
Mm.
Um, so there's different things to consider, which people don't
Mm.
sometimes consider that side of things, that you've got to go a certain pace to maximize before you need a bit of a sleep.
Mm.
And obviously, sleep's a massive thing with different people and different strategies and how people can cope or can't cope without the sleep. And
Mm.
yeah, so
I'm normally good for the first night. I don't normally struggle with sleep on the first night. I've not never I'm normally okay. Maybe sort of in the early hours before the light comes back, I might be feeling it a bit. But generally I'm okay through the first night. It's going towards the second night, so I'm hoping that
Monster, monster.
yeah, Monster. Well, yeah, that's it. The sponsorship will come in handy when there's a cat. Yeah, there's a six pack of Monster waiting for me.
Yeah, might have to go through the sugared version though for it.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be better having the sugar version. I think for the energy.
You better tag them in this, Sam.
I am gonna, yeah, I am definitely gonna tag him because I think we mentioned him about 15 times. So awesome. Well, any sort of like last minute things that you're looking forward to or worried about? How are you feeling? Sort of, I know we're like we're still a week away for you, aren't you?
Yeah.
Still like a week and a day before your race.
Yeah, I'm going to do my last real sort of sessions tomorrow. Nothing heavy, but I'll do a few intervals tomorrow and last little bit of leg work. But I'm also getting in the sauna as well a bit, just
Mm,
for the benefits of that. But trying to keep in sort of mind, I'm out to Morocco with a client at the end of the month for their challenge that they're doing. So I'm supporting that. And it's not going to be too hot there, but I'm trying to get a good heat adaptation in
mm,
now. So although I'll lose bits, that when I go out to Costa Rica and it's disgusting, that maybe I'll have kept some of it. So
mm.
yeah, my evening consists of an hour in the sauna after this. But yeah,
Well, there's so much like research on that though, isn't there? Because
yeah,
when you hear like David Roach going on about it, but also I was speaking to um I forgot his just interviewed him. He's just done the double Bob Graham, James Gibson, and he was saying how that was part of his strategy. He'd gone to Thailand for 3 weeks on holiday and got sort of heat acclimatized over there. And then when he came back, he carried on doing sauna sessions and for the benefit of it increases your blood plasma, doesn't it? And obviously that then pushes your red blood cells up as well.
yeah, it's interesting because along with that, obviously, it's it's how well does it work when you then come to the conditions where it's bloody freezing, like the spine, and you're wrapping up. That's why kit's going to be crucial on that race, and your layering and things like that. You don't want to sort of go off where you end up sweating too much, and then you become very cold because you're wet.
Mm,
Uh, Good outer shell, instead of something that's just going to let the wind hit through. If you've got a Gore-Tex outer shell, you're going to block that wind.
mm.
So I think, yeah, kit's going to be interesting, but I don't know whether it will help for that. It definitely helped, obviously, Costa Rica because it's a different kettle of fish, but for the spine, it's yeah, a little bit different. Obviously, it has its benefits, but you feel the cold more. So
Yeah,
it's yeah, it's interesting, but we'll soon find out, won't we?
yeah.
They're shaking like didn't work, Sam.
Don't blame me.
Yeah, but
Amazing.
no, look,
Um,
it's all interesting, and what an effort that was, a double Bob Graham as well, like
yeah,
for James. It's
yeah,
cracking.
great performance. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how you do come Tuesday next week. Hopefully you'll have the weather and the conditions that you want. So nice and cold and crisp underfoot, no snow, no wind, no wind chill.
But I don't know. I secretly love it all. So yeah, it's one of them.
Type 2 fun. Type
You've got to
3
deal
fun.
with it. Everyone's got to deal with it, haven't they? So it's the same.
Yeah.
It's what's great. Everyone has to carry the same sort of kit, standard of kit. So
Mm,
it's an even playing field, and I love that about the kit and how strict they are with it, and Lindley and the way he is. I think it's there's no getting around it. That's what you.
mm,
Everyone has to deal with the conditions. It's a fair, even playing field, and it comes down to who copes best and who manages best on the day, and deals with the conditions, avoiding injuries and stuff. It's yeah, there's an element of your training to that, isn't there, and stuff. And like I look at that and think, yeah, maybe I should have done something differently to avoid the injury I got in the Challenge North last year. So I've obviously done that and made sure that I've tried to adapt that that doesn't happen again. Because yeah, they
Mm,
can be just well freak things, but at the same time, you can try and control what you can.
mm.
Um,
Control the controllables and don't worry about the rest.
sorry, I've got a dog here that's dragging me around. All
Don't worry, mate.
chaos. It's chaos by nature. So yeah, where are you?
Awesome.
There you go.
Hello, doggo.
Yeah.
An extra guest on the show. Well, I appreciate your time, mate, and coming and having a chat. And I'm looking forward to seeing how you do next week. I'm sure. I'm
Well,
sure.
I'm not winning this, am I not, Sam? No.
I'm going to say that
Oh yeah, you've told someone that already, haven't you?
well, I want you to give it your best shot,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
regardless of the outcome.
Yeah,
It'll be a good race either way, won't it? So
it'd be brilliant. It's I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun.
yeah, brilliant.
You mate,
Right.
have a good one as well.
Yes, yes, I'll do my best, and I'll
Bye
be
on.
looking forward to dot watching you next week, mate.
Sounds good, mate. Well, yeah, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you soon.
Okay,
Cheers.
thank you.
Bye bye
Bye.
bye bye.